Your damaging abilities have a chance to grant 81 crit strike rating for 5 seconds. This effect stacks up to 5 times. Great. Your damaging abilities have a chance to deal 671. I can't even read anymore. Hello and what is up? It is FoxOG here, coming back to you with part 2 of 4 parts for the Demonology Warlock. And what we're going to look at today is the Azerite traits for your helmet, your shoulders, and your chest, as well as all the active abilities in your heart. Alright, let's jump in this game. Alright, so we're in the heart of Azeroth, or the Chamber of the Heart, as most people call it, or however everyone should call it. As you can tell, I don't have all of the abilities unlocked, still working towards it. This is one, I guess this is my main guy, but I'm just going to walk you through all of these, tell you about what is good, what is bad about them in a PvP setting. As you can tell, I'm missing 1 minor slot. I'm super close. It's 74, 75, very close. All right, so first one, Crucible of Flame. Crucible of Flame, 40 yard, insta-cast, 30-second cooldown, blast your enemies with a ball of concentrated flame, dealing 18,000 damage, 18,000 fire damage to an enemy, or healing an ally for 18,000. Then burn the target for additional 75% of the damage, or healing over 6 seconds. Each cast of concentrated flame deals 100% increase damage or healing. This bonus is reset after every 3rd cast. So what that means is you can cast it 3 times. Each time you cast it, it bumps it up 100, 200, 300, then it'll set back down to 0. The minor trait of it is your spells and abilities have a chance to cauterize your target for 11,744 fire damage over 10 seconds, or to heal an enemy for the same duration over 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. When you do put this ability into the major slot, it does both do the major and the minor. This can be good if you're trying to burst down an enemy when they are close to being one-shot, or they are the kill target. You can just pump this into them. Make sure you're at 2 stacks before you hit your 3rd one, before it resets, so that you're doing that extra 300 times damage. Next we have is Breath of the Dying. It is a 40 yard range, insta-cast, 45-second cooldown. Burns your target with a bolt of Azerite, dealing 51,000 damage, 51,000 fire damage. If the target is less than 20% health or more than 80%, the cooldown is reduced by 30 seconds, which is great. Having a 15-second insta-cast or 15-second cooldown insta-cast when they're above those two, or above 80% and below 20% threshold, it is great, especially when it is a kill target and they're at the lower than 20%. You want to be insta-casting, trying to get them dead. The minor power for it is your spells and abilities have a chance to strike your target for 2,000 fire or 20,000 fire damage and heal you for 50% of the damage dealt. This is a great minor trait because it heals you back and it has that chance to do that 20,000 fire damage. As well as this, with the 8.3 patch, you are getting a corruption resistance of 10. Obviously, that is going to be beneficial for when you do stack your corruption abilities. I'll go over that as well. Next, you have Conflict and Strife, which is a great one if you are. It has a great benefactor if you are PvPing. This is purely a PvP talent. As it reads out, teaches you a PvP talent in Nether Ward. Went over that in the first video. Nether Ward is that reflective ability, great against fire mages and Destro warlocks, and allows it to be used on all enemies on the Azeroth. While you are stunned, the defensive benefit from your versatility is doubled. The minor power, your spells and abilities have a chance to increase your versatility by 57 for 14 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Being a victim of a loss of control or a movement impairing effect grants a stack of Strife. This can be good, and then you're stunned, so it even stacks up even harder. Next we have Essence of the Focusing Iris. It is a 1.1 second cast. It's a 1.5 minute cooldown. Focus access Azerite energies into the heart of Azeroth and expels that energy outwards, dealing 126,000 fire damage to all enemies in front of you over 2.5 seconds. This can be great, although it's interruptible, and it is a channel once you do cast it. It does deal a lot of damage, but you need to be able to cast it and not get interrupted to be able to do all that damage. The minor effect, or the minor power, is your damaging spells and abilities grant you 37 haste for 4 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. This haste is lost if you stop using a spell or abilities against the initial target. So when you're swapping targets, it might not be that beneficial. Next, we're going to look at Spark of Inspiration. It's a 40-yard range, 1.5 second cast, minute cooldown. Releases a wave of energy from your heart of Azeroth, increasing the damage all party members within 15 yards with Azerite essence by 45% for the next 10 seconds. This can be beneficial when you are trying to get out that, or trying to release the kill potential or kill pressure. Although it is a 1.5 second cast, so that might interrupt the game. Maybe the healer can use it in between purges, hopefully, and that will increase the kill potential. As a minor power, your spells and abilities have a chance to increase your haste by 158 for 8 seconds and reduce the cooldown of your current slotted major essence by 1 second. This can be a good thing in your minor slot to reduce the cooldown of any major power. It might not be that beneficial if it's just 1 second, but if it's 1 second every time that this happens, you might be able to see that drop down. The great thing about this as well is it has a corruption resistance of 10. So again, once you go up and up in your corruption, this will help with reducing the resistance. Next, we have a Formless Void. 40-yard range, 1.5 second cast. Replicates the energy in your target's heart of Azeroth, gaining access to rank 1 of their current slotted major essence for the next 15 seconds. The Formless Void will go on a 50 second or 50% longer than the base cooldown of the essence you're replicating. It does not work on passive essences. I can't see that where this is beneficial, just for the fact that you're only stealing a rank 1, and it's going to be a longer cooldown than any of the other ones. Minor power. Each time an ally within 40 yards uses an Azerite essence, you gain 440 intellect for 20 seconds. This can be powerful since it is one of your top 4 max traits. It might be good in a PvP setting, but I PvPing don't see a lot of my teammates using their Azerite essence, so this is not that beneficial. Plus side, you do get a corruption resistance of 10 again. Next, we have Vision of Perfection. Your spells it's a passive. Your spells and ability have a chance to active summon Demonic Tyrant for 25% of its base duration. This Demonic Tyrant only extends other demons by 4 seconds. This can be good, but since we are running the talent that consumes all demon or all wild imps, it will not help with your other demons, since it is taking away all the wild imps, so they're not out longer. Having it up occasionally to do that extra damage, I can't see being beneficial in a PvP setting. The minor power for this is it reduces the cooldown of the summoned demonic tyrant by 22.2%. I can see this being okay, but you want to try to ramp up as much wild imps at the time, and it is a 1.5 second cast, I believe. 1.7 second cast. So having that up as efficiently can be a good thing. So you might want to take it in a minor node. Next, what we have is Blood of the Enemy, which I do not have. I'm still working towards getting them all. Blood of the Enemy, instacast, 2-minute cooldown. The Heart of Azeroth erupts violently, dealing 31,000 shadow damage to enemies within 12 yards. You gain 25% crit strike chance against the targets for 10 seconds. Since it is an instacast, it can be good. I don't know if it does share a global cooldown. Although you do have to be up and personal against your enemy. I don't see this being that beneficial. The minor power is your critical strikes with spells and abilities have a chance to grants a stack of blood soaked. Upon reaching 40 blood soaks, you gain 667 haste for 8 seconds. It can be beneficial. I don't know how quick you're gaining these stacks. If you already have high crit, which you might be running in this spec, you might be gaining this really quickly. Next, we have Condensed Life Focus. Major instacast, 3-minute cooldown, which is a very long cooldown, especially in 3v3 arenas. Call upon the Azerite to summon a Azerite or a Guardian of Azeroth for 30 seconds who impales your enemies with spikes every 2.5 seconds that deal 12,000 fire damage. It's an instacast. It does help. 30 seconds, 2.5, or 30 seconds survived every 2.5 seconds. So that's you're gonna get cast every 8 seconds, or it's gonna be cast 8 times roughly. "12 times, sorry. Minor power. Your spells and abilities have a high chance to impale your targets with a spike of Azeroth, causing 12,000 fire damage. It has a high chance, so it can be beneficial, but there's other ones that will be a better factor, I believe. Next, we have Memory of Lucid. What a Memory of Lucid is instant cast, 20 or a 2-minute cooldown, clears your mind and attune yourself with the Heart of Azerite, increasing your soul shard generation by 100% for 12 seconds. This can be great. This right here, this can be great. It is a 2-minute cooldown, but it can be great. You compare it with something else, and this right here can be great. Especially when you're getting your demonic souls and getting off your demon bolts. You're getting 4 extra soul shards. You hit 1, you drop down your Hand of God or your Hand of Gul'dan. You're going to stack them up really high. The minor power. Your spells and abilities have a chance to refund 50% of the soul shard spend and heal you, or spent on them, and heal you for 13 or almost 14,000 health. This is an excellent minor power node because you're going to be spending a shit ton of soul shards on Hand of Gul'dan, and to get them back is even better. This is the way that you're going to stack up all of your wild imps and destroy people. Next, we have Purification Protocol. 40 yard range, instant cast, 1-minute cooldown. Call down a purifying beam upon a target's area, dealing 50,000 fire damage over 6 seconds. Any aberrations struck within the beam are stunned for 3 seconds. This can be good. It's an instant cast. You get an extra stun, 3 seconds. Anyone in that area, call it down, and you got a stun, especially if they're grouped up. I don't know how big the circle is, if it's an 8-yard circle, a 3-yard circle, something to get an AoE stun. This can be great in PvP. Look at it. It looks great. Minor power. Mother has added a purification protocol to your Heart of Azeroth, allowing your damaging spells and abilities to release a blast of Azerite energy at your target, dealing 1,000 fire damage to anyone within 8 yards. Purify Protocol deals 50% additional damage against any aberrations. I don't know much about the minor power for this one, but that top one is looking really good. Alright, we're going to scroll down. Next, we got Ripple in Space. 25 yard range, instacast, 1-minute cooldown. Creates an Azerite beacon at the target location. After 4 seconds, the Heart of Azerite will relocate you to the beacon, dealing 24,000 fire damage to all nearby enemies. This can be good. It's almost like the Monk's Recall or whatever it is, or like the Warlock's Portal as well. But it's only 4 seconds. It can be good if you can drop your portal, or your portal right here, your gateway. Cast it before you go in. Go to your gateway, get in there. Everyone will run to you, and then you can teleport right back to there. That might be the only way that it'll work. Minor power. When you move more than 25 yards within 4 seconds, you gain 952 intellect for 15 seconds. This can only occur once every 30 seconds. You are moving a lot in PvP, especially the arenas. I can see how this could be beneficial. Once every 30 seconds can be good. But you are a caster, you do want to stay still. So this could only be beneficial if you're trying to run away, if you're being the focus target. But even then, you want to burn everyone's lockout and then start casting your big shit. Next, we have Unbound Force. 40-yard range, insta-cast, 1 minute cooldown. Unleashes a force within your heart of Azerite, causing shards of Azerite to strike your target for 21,000 fire damage over 2 seconds. This damage is increased by 300 if it crit strikes, which sounds good, but then again, you need a high crit chance. 1 minute cooldown. It's a small dot. Can't see it being that beneficial. The minor power to it. When an ability fails to crit strike, you have a high chance to gain Reckless Force. When Reckless Force reaches 20 stacks, your crit strike is increased by 50% for 4 seconds. This could be great in a different spec if you went Destro with all of your Chaos Bolts that you're going to be casting. And plus, you'll be gaining a lot of it you'll be getting a lot of your stacks from your Emolite. Next, we have World Veen Renaissance. Instacast, 1 minute cooldown. Concentrated energy into the heart of Azeroth, immediately causing 2 lifeblood shards to erupt from the nearby ground for 12 seconds. And increase primary stat gain from lifeblood shards by 300% for 18 seconds. What a lifeblood shard is, it grants you and your allies and any other allies using World Veen Renaissance 271 primary stat while within 8 yards of lifeblood shards. You gain benefit from maximum of 4 lifeblood shards at any time. No, it's not going to work in PvP. Just no. Every 18 to 25 seconds, a lifeblood shard erupts from the nearby ground for 12 seconds. It can be good. That part makes it better, but it's still not going to be that great for PvP. All in all, what I would like to run, or if I do have it, would be a major in Crucible of Flame. You get 2 extra shards, as you can see. You can pump it out pretty quickly, especially for a kill target. I would take a minor in Memory of Lucid Dreams for that refund, as well as I would take a haste. This would be great, and I'd probably take another haste as well to pump out those cooldowns. That's what I would go within this. Next, we're going to look at is Azerite traits within your gear. So I'm just going to pull this website up. We're going to go through it. For your headpiece, what the best one to run is Premier Commander. When your Demonic Tyrant expires, consume its life essence, granting you a stack of Demonic Core and increasing your intellect by 1,200 or 1,215 for 15 seconds. This is great. Like it says, once it expires, you also get a Demonic Core, which gives you that Demonic Bolt. The next best one would be Explosive Potential. When your Implosion consumes 3 or more imps, you gain 547 haste for 15 seconds. What I normally do right off the start was when I cast my wolves, Deadstruck, yep, those are the ones. You get your demonic, or you get your 2 stacks, and then I'll cast my Hand of Gul'dan. I'll have 3 imps at that time. I'll burn them, so I get my haste, and then I start pumping them up. Next one we have is Baneful Eviction. Your demonic tyrant demon fire deals 1,147 additional damage, and summoning your demonic tyrant instantly gains you 5 soul shards, so you can easily pump out your Hand of Gul'dan. Next best would be the Hand of Gul'dan. Deals additional 570 additional damage and has a 5% chance per soul to refund. Under that is your Hand of Gul'dan has a 15% chance to burn the target for additional 5,548 Shadow Flame damage over 2 seconds, or every 2 seconds for the next 6 seconds. I would at least try to get this. If not, I'd be running 3 explosive potentials. Next slot would be your Baneful Eviction, which we just went over. Same. Everything's the same, except for when we get down this. Blightborn Infusion. Your spells and abilities have a chance to draw a wandering soul from the Thros to serve you for 14 seconds. The soul increases your crit strike for 1,391. This could be very beneficial. Depends on how often it pulls, but you're gonna try to hit for at least 3 impulsive potentials, because they do stack once you get them, as well as you're gonna try to get your Baneful Eviction and your Supreme Commander. My next step would be suggesting grabbing this if you can. Shadow's Bite. When your summoned Deadstruck fades away, they increase the damage of your Demon Bolt by 3,744 for 8 seconds. You get 2 of them. You get additional damage. This is great. Inside the pack, you occasionally lose a tremendous roar, increasing your mastery by 772. And granting 125 mastery up to 2 nearby enemies lasting 20 seconds. It's okay. If you have to pick it. If there's nothing else. Undilating Tides. Your damaging spells and abilities have a chance to crash a wave upon your enemy for 5,701 frost damage. When your health drops below 50%, you gain a shield for 44,000 damage within 8 seconds. This can only occur once every 45 seconds. Third slot, you have Overwhelming Power. Your damaging abilities have a chance to grant you 25 applications of Overwhelming Power. Each stack of Overwhelming Power grants 29 haste. Application of Overpowering is removed every 1 second or when you take damage. This is great. Definitely get it. Definitely try to get it. There is pieces of gear where you're going to have everything in here. Unstabling Flames. Your damaging abilities have a chance to grant 81 crit strike rating for 5 seconds. This effect stacks up to 5 times. Great. Your damaging abilities have a chance to deal 671. I can't even read anymore. 6,717 nature damage to your target, and 2,879 nature damage to enemies within 3 yards of that target. Elemental Whirl. Your damaging abilities have a chance to grant an elemental whirl, increasing your critical strike, haste, mastery, or verse by 306 for 10 seconds. When all else fails, you can do this. It flips between all of them. Gut Rip. I'd probably grab one of these. It is nice to have. Your damaging abilities have a chance to deal 3,389 physical damage to the target. Gut Rip occurs more often against a target below 300 or 30% health. Blood Splan. Increase your mastery and leech. When you're surrounded by 4 or more enemies, grant a shield absorbing 21,000 damage. Cannot occur more than 20 seconds. I don't suggest grabbing this because in PvP, you're not going to be around more than 4 enemies unless you're doing world PvP. Resounding. Every 30 seconds, you gain an absorbed shield for 19,000 damage. Or 19,000. This is good. Try to stack it. When you take damage, you heal for 6,840. Cannot occur more than once every 6 seconds. This is a backup. When damage dealt greater than 10% of your maximum health, you grant avoidance and armor. This happens often. I don't know how much avoidance will actually help you, or at least that low of avoidance and armor. Next, we have when an enemy you harmed dies, you heal for almost 10k and you gain speed for 6 seconds. Not that good because once an enemy dies in arenas, the game is pretty much over. I'm pretty sure it can be used against unholy DK because they do summon a lot of pets, but other than that, I don't see it being that beneficial, or I don't even know if it actually works towards it. Long Strider. Increase your movement speed by 25 or 23% of your your highest secondary rating up to 7%. Not that great. Well below 50%, your drain life heals for additional 4,100 every second. It's okay. This right here. Yes. Your soul leech gains 2,606 absorption every second while a target is affected by a fear. When you become a fear bot, which you are, or which you will become, this will be great. Again, you'll see the same abilities throughout the shoulders. One new one that I just seen is Earthlink Azerite. Energy courses through you, reaching 174 primary stat and diminishing down to 29 primary stat. So cycling every 12 seconds. So it just goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Another one that I just seen. Your spells and ability have a chance to increase your haste by 843 for 15 seconds. Killing an enemy refreshes this duration. This is pretty good. It's pretty good. Lifeblood. When you health stone, you gain leech. It's okay. Resilience. While no enemies are around within 12 yards, you heal yourself for 1,824 every 3 seconds. Not that common. Wouldn't bother getting it. Scroll down to chest. Everything looks the same. We got trade winds. Your spells and abilities have a chance to grant you 1,000 mastery for 15 seconds. This effect expires when it jumps to an ally, granting them 209 mastery for 8 seconds. This can be good. I don't know how far the jump reach is. If you can jump within 40 yards, you might be able to benefit your team, especially if you have a Resto Shaman, which I run with, as you'll see in later videos. Anything extra mastery for them is really great because that is how their healing works. Loyal to the end, your mastery increases by 167 plus an additional 24 for each ally alive affected by loyal to the end, up to 334. When you die, your allies gain crit strike, haste, and verse equivalent to their mastery bonus from the strat. No thank you. No thank you. Everything looks good from there on. I will be putting this website into the description below. And that is it. It also goes over Azerite traits and stuff. What is common? This is for PvE. It doesn't tell you. There is no PvP. Oh, I guess there's PvP. It's not working. See? It's busted. So, I told you what is good, what is not good. Hopefully that helps you out. If you have any comments or questions, just leave it in the comments down below. There will be a follow-up video to this about the rotation, as well as they'll go in depth for all the add-ons that I use. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Twitter or leave a comment below. I'll be sure to check them and get back to you. This is part 2 of 4 parts, I'm going to say, for the Demonology Warlock. And be sure to subscribe to my channel. Weekly videos every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Look forward to the next video where I go over the rotation. Thank you for watching. Cheers.